Hey there, this is Todd. You're a Pharmacy Podcast Network, and I'm here with one of the 50 most influential people in our pharmacy profession. It was awarded in 2024 for the Pharmacy 50, Dr. Jay Phipps. It's so good to see you here, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to see you, Todd.
It's great to see you too. All right, let me just ask you this question. Why do you think your own people in your own profession took the time to vote you as an influencer? What's it mean to be an influencer?
Number one, I'm going to say that it's great to be. It's very humbling when you're voted as an influencer, and the thing that I get from people is that they can feel my passion. It's palpable. I love the profession. I love people. I love pouring into them, and that I think that really resonates with people. And it's an honor to do that. But I don't do the stuff that I do on social media. I don't do that for anything but because I love it and I love to be involved with people and learn about them. And when you're walking across the trade show floor like today, and I met a young lady a few minutes ago, and I said, "Hello, I'm Jay Phipps." She says, "I met you on TikTok. I know who you are." And to me, that's exciting.
Yeah, but you know what? It's your attitude, Jay. You're not out there trying to blow yourself up. You're out there trying to help people, and you're using your platform to help people overcome fear and overcome distress and overcome just stress in general. And that came from your own heart and what you experienced. And when I interviewed you, based on the disaster that your own community felt with the flooding that you actually experienced, and I looked at the the tears in your eyes and how passionate you were about your community, that's what made me love you and think I need to support this guy. This guy is a true fighter for his community. And that's inside pharmacists per se, but sometimes pharmacists are afraid to get to that next level. So talk to me about the Pharmacy Gladiator. Talk to me about overcoming fear, because you've really dialed into this.
Yeah. Several years ago, I was trying to think of how do we really identify as pharmacists. Pharmacy, community pharmacy specifically, a lot of challenges. We still have them now, but a couple of years ago, just seemed like we were getting pushed around. And I woke up in the middle of the night and said, "I'm a gladiator." And immediately in the middle of the night, bought the URL pharmacygladiator.com at 2 a.m. and because I really do think we're really battling in a coliseum every day. We're battling for our patients, battling legislative activities, battling the financial barriers that are put on us. And most of the time, pharmacists are oftentimes a little reserved and not really battle ready. But I think the profession is ready to be battle ready now. And I really do think we're fighting hard to conquer the coliseums in our communities. And really, it starts with fear. And less than 3 years ago, it's hard to believe this, I made my first video and put it on social media. I was at a conference in July 3 years ago, and I'll be honest, it took me about 25 takes to get my 30-second video on social media, and it was fear. And I have, I've got a family history where, my mom has a lot of fear, overwhelmed with fear. And I never really thought much about it until the last several years. You start reflecting on it, and because one of my friends asked me, said, "Well, while you're an entrepreneur, how do you do the things you do? How do you speak on stage?" And I said, "It was because of my mom." And they said, "Well, was she fearless?" I said, "Absolutely not. She had tons of fears." I started making a list. I'm lots and lots of fears, and what that did is you either have to be overwhelmed and paralyzed by fear, or you have to face it and conquer it. And that really has changed my perspective. And to me, the Freedom from Fear Tour is trying to empower people to revolutionize their life and to flip that fear narrative. And to me, it's extremely exciting when you start seeing other professionals that are, have fear impacting them, and it impacts all of us. It's procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome. But to be able to see them conquer that, face that challenge, and then act boldly. To me, it's extremely exciting. And so I'm willing to put myself out there and be vulnerable on social media and in person. I'm authentic. What you see is what you get. You will get me the same on stage as you do sitting here in a conference, or if we were sitting somewhere else later having a beverage. I'm just Jay, and I think that resonates with people.
Well, I think that what else resonates with people is your sincerity and your consistency to constantly bring this up. Every single one of us, every single human being on the face of the earth has experienced some kind of fear. And we have to overcome that in order to get to the next stage in our lives. But more importantly, if you remove the fear, guess how much more help you're going to be able to give other people. So removing fear isn't just about your success, it's about the success that you're going to provide other people, that you're now showing an example of what you're doing either as a healthcare provider or as a father or as a husband or as a friend or whatever it is. I constantly, this is a strange story, constantly felt fearful of trying to pray with my wife because I felt that I wasn't a very good prayer maker and I felt weird about it. And I even told this happened about 3 years ago, told her, and she's like, anytime you want to pray with me, it doesn't matter what you say, grab my hand, let's pray together. And that like was a stupid fear that I had to overcome. It was that simple stuff. Or fear with communicating with my 13-year-old daughter. She says skibbity and riz and all these like crash out dad. And of course I use those terms to make her laugh, but down deep inside, I had a fear that I wasn't going to be able to connect with her anymore. Those are the kinds of things that are holding us back from those fulfilling relationships. And that pours out into our customers as pharmacy owners too. So talk to us a little bit more about how you've helped to overcome your own fears. And now you're turning around with the Freedom of Fear Tour and you're teaching other people, other pharmacy owners, how to overcome that too.
Yeah. Great story. Actually, I will use that again about you praying with your wife, because fears don't have to be to make sense to other people for them to be fears. They don't have to really, they don't have to be the same fears that you have and that I have. We all have different things, and they impact us very similarly though. There's a study out of Stanford that showed that when people are exposed to fear, there's three things that happen. You fight or flight. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And then there's freeze. And freeze is what most people do, which is not praying with your wife because you're uncomfortable.
Yep.
And interestingly enough, that is the least stressful state there is. So when you are frozen with fear, your respiration's lower, your heart rate's lower. It's easier. That's why people don't take action. And I think of your fear as a muscle. You're going to exercise your fear muscle. And the only way to do that is to take action and overcome it. There's studies that will show that if you conquer one fear, it will help you with unrelated fears. So by you communicating with your daughter and having those hard conversations with her, or is she going to accept you or not? And then that makes you a better, not only a father, but it makes you a better spouse, makes you a better business owner, a better communicator, a better podcaster, because your fears are going to be diminished. And to me, that my Freedom for Fear Tour has really been great, because what I have seen is that every fear I conquer, I get better and better and better at other fears. One of my things, and most people, if you don't know me well, probably don't realize, having hard conversations is not something I enjoy. And really, I should say it was a fear, because again, the science says when you name a fear, you take its power. Your amygdala changes shape. Your fear center changes shape when you name it. So to name it is the first thing you should do. But then having those hard conversations have become easier as I've done things like been parasailing and had colonoscopy. Got a power of attorney on my parents. I've hired people. I've fired people. I've climbed Mount Hood. I've went kite surfing on what they call a nuclear day, 40-mile-an-hour winds. And so all these things have helped me be a better partner, dad, business owner, teammate. and they can do that for other people as well. It's just taking the action to overcome the fears, and then seeing yourself on the other side of fear.
I love it. And now you're going to be driving a Ferrari. You're walking 4,000 feet up in the air on a glass platform. Like there's other things that you're purposely putting in front of yourself to continue overcome fear.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's capital F fears and lowercase f fears. So you think about it like, skydiving, swimming with great whites, which is on my list. I'm super excited about that. My family thinks I'm nuts.
I think you're nuts. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Those are capital F fears. But the little things like, praying with your wife.
Yeah.
That's I would say consider probably a lowercase F fear. That's not going to keep you from existing.
Right.
But it still has the same impact on you.
Yep.
And, to be able to exercise that fear muscle by conquering the fears, it's really has been life-changing for me and hopefully for other people as well.
Jay Phipps here at the Syncora Thought Spot 2025. This has been an absolute pleasure to meet up with you. I watch you from afar on social media and LinkedIn, and always am just blown away by the passion and the sincerity in your heart, and the way that you reach out to people. I can't wait to continue to work with you. I'd love to have you back on This Week in Pharmacy. And thanks so much for listening. But thank you, Jay.
Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the other side of fear.